Hello everybody and welcome to the stream. My name is Technomagus and it's been a while since we did an old style video game. Let's actually, resize this first. So that way, not getting in more stuff than we actually need to see. Anyway, so today we are going back to the old classic, the Super Nintendo, for an old game I used to enjoy back in the day called Run Saber, published by Atlas, of all people, and created by Hori Electronics. In this game, you play, it's a side-scrolling action beat-em-up, very similar in style to Strider, and it was basically you play as one of two characters, either Alan, who has power of thunder, or Sheena, who has the power over ice. Their moves are virtually identical. The only difference is their super attack and the range of their attacks when they get their upgrade. Playing the intro so you can see what it looks like. Now, as you can see by this little intro screen, there are actually 3 sabers. The third saber was corrupted by the bad guys, so we do have to fight him at various points. The game supports 2-player co-op. We're only going to be doing 1 player because I don't have a second player with me to join in, unfortunately. You can choose between whether playing as Alan or Sheena. I prefer playing as Sheena, actually, because her upgraded saber has a wider range, covering her entire front section, whereas Alan's upgraded saber has an extended length. Storyline is completely different between the two, there is no difference between the 2 storylines. They are completely identical, and, so... It's just basically the abilities of the sabers themselves. Now, one other thing is you can pause the game, and by hitting the select button, you can change between one of 8 different color schemes. This is my preferred Sheena. So you have the regular jump, which is done by hitting the A button, or actually the X button. That is the upgraded saber, which as you can see. The Y button is the attack button. X button creates the bomb. For Sheena, it's a wave of ice. For Alan, he summons 4 lightning dragons and circles. You only get 2 bombs per life, but you can collect more. The circle button doesn't do anything. R does a slide attack, or R or L does a slide attack, which does actually hurt enemies. And when jumping, after going into a spin jump by holding the jump button, you can hold the down arrow, and it will basically cause you to do a downward kick. Holding up does a spinning attack, which can damage enemies above you, as you just saw. And then you die. You will die very often in this game, and when you die, your weapon gets reset. Fortunately, the weapon upgrade is fairly frequent, so you don't have to worry about it too much. But you can see, you can climb on walls. You always start with 3 health every time you die, regardless of what your health max was. You have a maximum of 8 health. There is no benefit for getting to the max. One other thing is, this game is actually pretty damn difficult. There are enemies all over the place, there are a ton of cheap hits. But if you know what you're doing, you can get through more or less unscathed, because everything has a pattern. I want that health. Normal white health packs restore 1 health, and there are blue health packs which restore 3 health. Enemies will respawn as soon as you scroll off the screen, sometimes even before. Like if you have an enemy spawn point just off the screen, you will just face an endless horde of enemies. The game also makes extensive use of Mode 7 graphics for a lot of the bosses. Of course, this is the first mini-boss. I have you, like, locked in a hit stun? Apparently. And whenever you defeat a boss or a mini-boss, Alan or Sheena will always do the, will always spin their sabers around and raise them. If you have both players at the same time, they will actually try and, they will angle their sabers towards each other, and if you're standing at just the right distance, they'll actually, like, cross sabers. It's kind of a cool little effect. Like I said, there's a lot of cheap shots in this game. And another little mini-boss. There we go. And now it's time for the first real boss. With one hit left and no lives. Awesome. Which means I'm probably... And also a horrendous abuse of Mode 7 graphics. Because the entire boss fight takes place on a plane flying through the sky, which likes to rotate around. Nope, and we just died. Cool. Sure, we'll use up one of our continues, even though we really shouldn't this early in the game. Or the game can just lock up. Even better! Alright, let's try that again. Okay, so, yes, as you can see, this game is hard, and I'm not going to be allowed to continue, so that's even better. Okay, so let's try this again. Alright. Oh, apparently you can actually set the color before the game begins. Whatever. Okay. It just won't show it on the title screen. Generally speaking, if you are in an area with respawning one-hit enemies, you'll want to keep fighting them until you get the weapon upgrade. The strange thing is, the weapon upgrade doesn't actually make it easier to kill enemies, it just makes the range of your weapon better, so that you can either reach further enemies, or in Sheena's case, she can hit enemies without needing to crouch. Like I said, cheap shots, all over the place. Enemies can drop health, but it's extremely rare. And we just died. Cool. Usually the first power-up you get after dying is a new life, sometimes it's a bomb. There is no double jump in this game, as this game was made before double jumps really became a thing. Alright, let's fight this boss again. Come on. almost killed it without taking any damage, and then the boss decided to be cheap. Isn't that great? And now we're probably going to die against this little mini-boss again, which is awesome, but at least this time we'll be going into the boss of the stage with a life left. There we go. Alright, a life left, a upgraded, or one extra life, upgraded weapon, and 2 health, so should be able to kill the boss at this point. Now, if you don't move, you will automatically stay glued to the ship, so. Alright, so now that we've killed the 3 enemies, the actual boss is going to burst out of the cockpit. And all it has is just a charge pack. And we let the ship, and now we let the jet blow up. Alright, so now that we've beaten the first level, we go to the second level. There is no real storyline behind this. Essentially, it's evil scientist creates this parasite type thing that he uses to try and take over the world, and it's up to us to put a stop to him. It's all in the manual. There's actual no in-game storyline. Oh, in case you're wondering about duplicate power-ups, once you get the upgraded Saber, you no longer get any, or you no longer have to worry about seeing that particular upgrade again. You'll only get health ups or extra bombs. Watch out for these. These are the elemental platforms. Each one has a different elemental, and they have different actions depending on what element they are. And they hurt, so you don't want to hit them. Also, something to be wary of, this is going to be your first introduction with instant kill pits. Another thing to keep in mind is that the slide distance is fixed, so you better hope that you have it timed correctly. Now this is actually an area where Alan would come in handy, because his upgraded Saber would be able to strike these pillars from outside their range, but it doesn't really matter. Alright, so that's another mini-boss down. Oh, wait, before we go up, let's go ahead and get that extra life. Because extra lives are useful, and they mean we don't die. And right here is one of those bottomless pits I mentioned before, so we don't want to do that. Whoa. And now we get the first meeting of Kurtz, the original Flame Saber, who is a bit of a challenge. He has, basically he throws daggers, And yeah. Thankfully, every single hit that you can possibly take in the game will only ever deal 1 damage. Unfortunately, we just died. So... And we locked the game. Cool! Yay, we get started from the beginning. We're so good at this. Alright, I think I might need to start abusing save states at this point. Alright, so... Take 3! And unfortunately, because we have to reset every time we die... there we go. That's the one I want. Okay. We need to go through this and fight the jet on the Mode 7 graphics again. And we're doing really well at this whole avoiding damage thing. Really well. Sometimes it's not a bad idea to just farm an area of respawning enemies just to build up your health, and because health pickups and bomb pickups will drop from random enemies. Extra lives will not, at least as far as I'm aware. Like right here actually is not a bad idea to farm for a little bit, simply because it's spawning enemies, to drop bombs and health. The only thing to keep in mind, however, is, once again, your health only lasts as long as your life does. Once you die, your health is reset back to 3, your weapon is reset back to no power at all, and yeah. Alright. No, 1 hit that time, so much better, but we're also down a life from stupid. Ooh. Yeah, that's why you want to sometimes farm enemies. Like I said, blue health orbs restore 2 health instead of 1. Greatly increasing your survivability. Oh, so much for having all that extra health. Whatever, it's not like the boss actually requires any effort in defeating. All you need to do is make sure you don't fall off when it's doing its little spin. You don't even need to press any button to hold on to while it's spinning. And the boss always spawns little 3 minions in the same order. It's center section, tail section, and then nose cone. And then the boss bursts out of the, and the actual boss bursts out of the cockpit. a matter of whacking it until it dies. Okay, so the boss does actually have one other attack besides slowly lunging at you, and that's to launch 3 little orbs. Now, just about every single projectile in the game can be broken by a single sword slash. So, 9 times out of 10, the safest thing to do is actually just to spam your sword. Especially as Sheena, because she has with her upgraded sword, she has a full cover in front of herself. Alright, anyway. So, now let's go ahead and save states. So that way, should we die, we don't have to reset the game yet again. And we definitely want health. There is no time limit on this game. It is take as long as you want, which is good, because you do not want to rush this game. You will die. Oh, that was a complete waste. Now, there really is no point to saving the bombs. They do actually do quite a bit of damage, so they're useful in boss fights or when you get just surrounded by enemies. Oh, come on. There we go. Alright, let's go ahead and grab that extra life from earlier. And actually, it's a good idea to spam bombs during the Kurtz fights, because he can and will, as you saw, he can and will wreck you, and... or you can just walk into a pit. Yeah, that's the other thing, is if you die, it resets your bomb counts to 2 instead of whatever you had before. So I just lost 2 bombs because I walked off a ledge instead of jumping. And here he comes again. Now, Alan actually has an advantage against Kurtz because his sword, or his level 2 sword, actually outranges Kurtz's swings. And then once you beat him, he just vanishes. Please get some health. It would be appreciated. No, of course not. No, that was a bomb. The problem is there are a couple of blind jumps in this game that you have to be careful of. Like, that was one of them. You could kind of see the platform, but if you weren't paying attention, you wouldn't know that you were supposed to go that way. Oh. And there is the fire platform. And now you die. Oh. Along with a a lightning platform. In case you're wondering, there are 3 platforms: fire, ice, and lightning. Come on. And also, in case you were wondering, there are no hidden items in this game. It's just all the levels are extremely linear and straightforward, and I just died. Fortunately, we are almost at the boss. Oh, how nice. And that jump was actually automatic. At least it was kind enough to give me back the health that I lost. Alright, boss time. Meet the mistress. All you really need to do is stand on her hand. Nope. Well, usually. Okay, with an upgraded weapon, you can just stand on her hand and whack her in the face, because that is her weak spot. With a normal sword, you have to get a little bit closer. Alright, stage 2 clear. This is going to be fun, because we have no extra lives left. Especially considering stage 3 throws you right into a boss fight when the level begins. Isn't that great? Thanks, game. How nice of you. Fortunately, it dies to a single bomb. There's no avoiding that. That is just like a little mini storyline thing that happens in this particular level. I'm actually not sure if the, okay, the spikes are not instant death, but escaping them generally is. Yay, Reese. Open state, because as we all know, continuing does not work. Cool. The timing of the ropes was nowhere near correct, so we had to take damage. Isn't that great? Alright, come on guys. Life, please. Would be appreciated. Nope, guess not. Yay! Alright, we're gonna go ahead and split the video off here. So, the game is really short. It's only 5 levels long, so I'll be back in just a few minutes with the next half of Saber. See you in a little bit, guys.